I'm chilling right now. Around this time I'd usually train around like 4:30. So it's
Okay.
3:30 here. I'm actually a little later on today, so I'm just getting my shit ready so I can sit down and actually enjoy the podcast for once. So I'm not fucking.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a goddamn rabbit in this fucking podcast. I'm always like doing shit.
Hey,
People probably think I'm all fucking geeked up.
no pressure, man. You got to do what you got to do, bro. You got to
Oh,
do
it's
what
all
you got
good.
to do.
How you
Okay.
feeling, man? How you feeling with what was that? 23 weeks out right now?
Something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who's counting?
Uh, Pretty good. I mean, weight still going up slowly, and then it's kind of been steady at like 290 ish,
Man,
which is for me that's actually like on the lighter side, but for good reasons, right? You don't want weight just for the sake of weight, you know.
I trust me, bro. I understand, man. How tall are you? I don't know if you want to say.
5'11" now.
Oh, 5'11"? Okay,
5'11.
okay, okay.
If
Fuck.
if it's a dating app, it might be 6'1". You know what
Shit,
I'm saying?
on my football thing, I had 6'1" the whole time. I was like, man, I'm about 6'1", you know. Fucking, my wife called me out. I had my license. She looked at my license. She's like, hey, it says 6 foot on here. I was like, yeah. She goes, you know, you're about 5'10". I was like, she's like, you better change that. She made me change it. I was like, man, don't
Bro,
know this fucking bust like that. But
it's
then,
hilarious. Huh?
then you think about it, like if you were 6 foot, like you'd have to be even that much more.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Heavier,
it's just
bigger.
fuck, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Girls do the opposite, man. Like I'll see a girl be like, oh, I'm 5'10", and you'll stand next to them, you be like, you about 6 foot, man. You'll be at least
yeah.
six
I
foot.
got
Yeah.
J's on, and I'm still not over you. You know,
we we do the opposite. Yo, so some of the short guys be doing too much though, bro. A guy will be like 5'7", talking about 5'10". You like, bro, 1 inch, 2 inch max, but you can't add, bro. You can't go 3-4 inches is crazy.
I, I swear to God on this. I meet a lot of people out there. They're like, man, you're pretty tall for a bodybuilder. I'm like, I'm 5'10", man. Like, um, I don't know. They're like, no, you're at least 6'1". I'm
Bro,
like, no, no, I'm not. I'm a legit 5'10" and a quarter. I was like, I've measured myself on. They're like,
no, no, no,
nah,
boy,
man, I'm telling you, big. I'm. They're like, I'm five. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, what the?
bro.
How tall do you think you are?
You know how if you lie to yourself enough, you start to believe
It's true.
it. So
It's true.
they want to make you taller so they could be taller, and it's like, damn, bro,
And
come on, bro.
I mean, and I don't know why like in bodybuilding the height is such a like a stigma in a sense too. Like height and weight, right? So for myself, you're 5'11", 290. I'm 5'10", 260. So it's a 30-pound difference with a 1 inch difference. But people would say, well, then you're light for a super. I'm like, well, it all depends on how the visuals look on
That's
stage.
it. That's all that
Weight is
matters.
enough. That's the hard part about like when you start looking at bodybuilding, because I was a scale chaser at one point, and
Mhm.
that shit got me in trouble more times than I could count. Honestly, preps suck for me.
Yeah.
So this is the one time that I'm like, I'm 260 for a good reason. Like you said, for you're like, I'm not fucking suffering. Well, you're always suffering, but I'm not fucking killing myself this year.
Yeah, you kind of have to get over it. Like you got to understand that you're not the other person, so it's almost irrelevant. Height plays probably the biggest factor. Obviously, like every inch in bodybuilding could be up to. I mean, depending on your limbs and everything, it could be up to 10 pounds, bro. Like every
Yeah.
inch, So like I'll say 8 to 10 pounds sometimes, but even if you're the same height as somebody, you're a different person, different muscle bellies, different insertions, different everything. So you can't really compare it. I'm sure this happened to you too early on. You'd be like, okay, so if I'm 5'10", that guy's 5'10", he just won nationals. He was 250. Okay, I have to be 250 on stage, and it's like, no, that's not how it works.
I've done that literally my whole time bodybuilding. Like looking at
Yeah.
everyone and being like, oh, I got to be this and I got to be that. It gets fucking tiring after a while. You are who you are, and you can't help it, bro. You know, it is what it
Yeah.
is. You're stuck. You're stuck with what you got. You're stuck with what you don't have too. So
It is what it is.
yeah,
When Sean used to when Sean was alive, obviously, and he was at Venice, I would chat with him sometimes. Right, he was super cool guy, super friendly guy, and then he would tell me that he felt the same because he's Sean was 5'10", right, and he would be like, "Yo, early on, he would see this guy is 5'10", and he's like, and it's worse for him because he at the Olympia level, right? So imagine him, he's like, I'm 5'10", fucking this guy that just won this show, whatever, is fucking 270 at 5'10", you
yeah,
know, and he's like, what the fuck? First of all, he realized that a lot of guys lie. Unless you've seen the actual scale, a lot of guys are lying. First of all, let's get that out the way.
yeah.
And on top of that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So he would try to chase the weight, chase the weight, chase the weight, and get completely out of shape. And he's like, "What the fuck? This is not." Then when he completely forgot about that and just actually focused on his strength, his strengths, which is conditioning, shape, that's when he started winning everything. You know, he he couldn't be bigger than Phil, and he had to come to terms with that. And he didn't have to be because Phil couldn't be as aesthetic as him. You know,
Yeah,
but
it's crazy, man. It's a I I was talking like I texted you yesterday. I was talking to Blake Ferguson,
yeah,
and we were talking back and forth, and he's like 340, and I'm like,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
oh man, I was like, I want to be that. I want to do that for one day. He's like, it's not all cracked up to what you think, and I was like, one day, just give it to me one day.
Yeah,
But that's crazy. 340 fucking pounds.
it's insane. Yeah. What's up, Alyssa?
What's up, boys?
Oh,
You remember fuck, what's his name? The dude he used to be Derek Lunsford's training partner. Tall guy, British guy. He tore his chest working out with Larry Wills. Remember?
Ryan something.
Boom.
Ryan
Ryan Ryan something.
Crowley.
Thank
Crowley.
you.
Boom Crowley. I remember I did USA's in 2020 during COVID. And that was my first USA's actually. And I was coming off of retirement.
Yeah, every other year.
But I did it, and I remember watching him leading up to the show, and he was doing USA. First of all, I was like, I didn't know he could do USA. He's not even American, first of all.
Oh yeah.
But put that aside,
Yeah.
he jumped. I remember seeing that he was like a few weeks out, like 315. I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit! This guy at 315. I can't believe it. And he said he competed at like 305, right? But then I see him backstage, and kind of like, I mean, he's tall, but he wasn't crazy muscular, you know, right? And then Chris won, Chris Too Swole, and he's tall too.
Well,
And
Chris,
he's like,
yeah.
yeah, and I think he was like 260, 270 too. And I'm like, what the fuck? Do I gotta be that heavy? Like I don't know if I could be that heavy on stage. Holy shit, what the fuck? But I mean, it's irrelevant, bro. You like how tall they are, the way they hold their weight is all different for everybody. You can't get into that. You know?
Let's not forget what Ryan Crowley looked like that year.
He actually did a show. I'm mistaken. I think last year ish, like a local show.
Post
And he didn't,
Hector, right?
yeah, he didn't post anything. So of course I was get up on there. I was like, oh yeah, we're good. I was like, yeah, you're good. You came back, you did your thing, but I was like, I wouldn't do it either. Yeah.
NPC News Online, don't lie.
Yeah.
but it looked like his trajectory, right? Because I felt like if you watch how young he was, it seemed like he was gonna be really good. Actually, like he has some genetic flaws, right? But just looking at his age, and he seemed really like into it. I thought at some point I was like, I used to think, yo, if he fills out his frame, this is gonna be crazy, you know. But first of all, I think he's like 6'4"? I don't know how tall, right? He's really tall, actually.
Yeah. Shoot. Tall.
I don't know if you can ever fill out. To be honest, I don't know if anybody can fill out their frame at that height. First of all, you know, and if you don't have like crazy shape, like let's say an Andrew shape, I don't even think Andrew's ever going to fill out his frame, to be honest. But if you don't have crazy shape like that, the only card you have is to be fucking big as shit, right? To be super muscular. But you really can't. Like, how dense can you appear over 6'2", 6'3", right? It's really difficult. So it leaves you in a place you don't have too many tools to work with because you can only look so dense on your body, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where he found himself. Like, where do I go from here? You remember Jamie the Giant?
Yeah. Christian? Is that his name? No,
Christensen.
Christensen. Thank you.
He had a few different names, right? It was at one point. He was called some big. At one point, his last name was Big. His last name, you know what I'm talking about? Jamie Johal.
Yeah.
Joe Hall. Yeah, that's his name.
There you go.
Not Christian.
But it changed.
So I
It
don't know who the fuck I was thinking of. My bad.
Well, his name changed because it was Jamie the Giant. I mean, it was Jamie Johal. Then it was Jamie Big because he said he had a stepdad's last name, and either way, never mind that. But yeah, because he was competing in the 300s already, right? So it's like off seasons were like 330, 340. So he's like, at what weight, at what point would I be big enough, right? And he was just like, it's not worth it. I'm not gonna be 370 in off season. You know, I don't want to do that. So
I feel like that would, I started thinking like for my body, right? I graduated high school and I was playing football at 305. So I'm
holy
like,
shit, I didn't know that.
oh yeah, I got played offensive line and nose tackle. So I was like, I think about when people say that, I'm like, I can get fucking. I'm saying big. I'm gonna put quotes on this, right? Big, but I can put some weight on. It's not gonna look good, but when people are like, I can't be three, I'm like, if you're struggling, like when I see really big dudes, they're like, yeah, I don't know if I get the 370. I was like, if I was 6'6", I get the 370 for sure.
I think our bodies are a little different though. Our bodies want to be fatter than leaner, right? So I think the same thing.
Jamie had a crazy metabolism, if I recall.
He did, yeah. Like Stu is a lot more muscular than us, right? But if we say, hey, Stu, get up to 330, that would be a bigger challenge for Stu. And we could get up to 330. It wouldn't be pretty.
Man.
But it's honestly like, it's crazy just how much a couple of inches difference.
That's true.
Hold on. This is going to sound perverted, but it's crazy how much of a difference a couple of inches makes. Because like Jordan's like an inch and a half taller than me, probably, and he's thinking like he's going to need to get to like 320 in the off season because he's like just over 5'10", I think, and I mean that's like 20 pounds on top of where he's been before. I mean, to him right now, he's been talking about it. I was like, "Fuck, dude! Like, I don't want to do that." But he's got that in his head right now.
He's not wrong. But me and DT were just talking about that because there's so many other factors. Like Jordan visually he appears barely taller than you, but his build looks like he has longer limbs, right? He has a completely different build than you. He doesn't appear as like I don't know, as stocky, as dense, even though he might be heavier than you actually right now, right?
Oh yeah, he's like 10, 15 pounds heavier actually. But I'm getting back on drugs today, so
things might change.
I'm not gonna get heavier than it, but
well, yeah, there's so many differences. But like you said, inch and a half. I think every inch in bodybuilding could be like 8 to 10 pounds, which sounds crazy. But easily, I would say every inch. So an inch and a half, he'll need an extra 15 pounds on you just to look relatable,
10 pounds an inch, right? That's the math.
Yeah, that's the bodybuilding math. But on top of that, his muscle bellies aren't as like I guess pronounced as yours, if that even makes sense. So it might need to be even a little bit more.
His arms aren't, but his legs are crazy.
Good point.
And his delts are very good. Like his delts are pretty round. His chest is pretty good. Like it's kind of like some places yes, some places no.
Yeah. At this point, if you measured his arms, they're probably like close to 22s.
Bro, they're fucking huge. Like I was training with him this week. They're very big. He's very big, but like
the shape.
And like, dude, that's the only thing you can really knock on the guy. Like, because I was talking to him earlier this week. It's like arms and some lat width. That's what he needs.
Yeah. Shit, I honestly though, I think it looks good on him. I don't know if I want to see him with like blown up arms, like just a little bit of more oomph to it, maybe. But I think he looks good like that,
I don't think we were when I saw him earlier this week, we were talking about like because me and him are kind of like in a different or similar position right now like we're trying to like make the jump up to the next level in the league, and you know, it's daunting. You know, it's like if you make those little improvements, like is that going to be enough?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, I kind of feel this way as well. It's like you're looking at that, and you're like, when do you say this isn't worth it anymore? You know, because if he's like looking at like 320, like that's I'm confident that he's going to keep getting after it. But I mean, this is like just a normal, healthy, logical thing for you to be thinking about as you're like, you know, you're getting closer to 30 and you're thinking about like, what do you want to do with your life? And what is it going to take to be successful at this thing? Because like, we've already been pretty successful at it, but is it like successful enough to where like we can, you know, make a really good living off of it and like, you know, make it meaningful in some way in our lives? You know what I'm saying? Those are kind of the questions we're thinking about now, me and him. And I'm sure a lot of other people.
Yeah. If you didn't think like that in your 30s, I would be concerned. You're kind of ahead, like maturity wise, because you're not 30 yet, right?
I'm 28. Jordan's 29.
Oh well, you guys are a bit more mature beyond your years, because usually guys don't start thinking that till they're me and DT age.
Hell yeah. Fucking pass the bucket, got one foot in the grill, like, man, what am I gonna do? Should I take another shot, or should I fucking take rain or draw? I don't know.
You're like, damn, I don't got no kids, you know. Shit, I'm in a house. You're like, damn, I gotta do some things. Might have to change things up. No, but you got maturity level. But if you didn't think that, if that didn't cross your mind, I'll be concerned. You know, we're not kids. You can't just chase shit blindly. You have to have some kind of plan.
Yeah, but at the same time, like when you're chasing shit blindly, like you go hard. You go really hard.
Way harder.
You throw caution to the wind. And it's not that we're not doing what we need to do, you know, but it's like it's kind of a different mindset when you're trying to like think about big picture stuff instead of just like all in one thing, all the eggs, one basket. Yeah.
Do you guys think sometimes going too hard can go backwards? Could be a negative thing.
If you're not cut out for this, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I think we all know competitors who are like they don't got it, but they keep on pushing
forever. Like they just don't stop. I'm talking about 20 years down the line.
Yeah, into their late 30s, early 40s, and they're still like winning local shows or something. It's like
you don't gotta talk about me like that, Stu.
No.
I know some later, bro. I know guys in their mid 40s, like legit in their mid 40s. But I live in Cali, like so in Cali, there's a lot of that, like guys pushing late 40s. They're like, "Yo, I'm gonna do this thing," and I'm like, I mean, that's what's up. I mean, that's great.
DT, you know? Like, so what do you do for a living?
I run two hormone clinics. Oh, okay. I have a brownie business, and we coach people on the side just for.
Okay, so if you were, say, like a roofer. Yes. Then trying to be a professional bodybuilder and still pushing it when it's not going to happen doesn't make sense.
Right.
For you, it makes sense because it's like kind of a component to your businesses.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of your resume.
Yeah.
And if you love doing it and you're not being a dumbass and hurting yourself, which I presume you're not, you know, like then no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah. I do thoroughly enjoy it. And like I've said previously, I know where I stand. This is not the end all be all. If you know, at the end of this journey, I don't have a pro card. It's okay. I do want to get one. It'd be fantastic. It'd be awesome. But it's not the set out goal where I'm like, I have to do this because everything depends on it, and I have to move up in the ring. Man, this is just a true love, and I do love doing it. I push. You know, I do everything that I have to do. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know. That's just how I look at it.
Don't you think, like, let's say if DT had like Andrew Jack genetics, I feel like he should still think like that, though, right? But that's just my opinion. I mean, so some would argue, but if you had Andrew Jack genetics, you should be just completely all in and disregard everything. I think you only have a window for that. I think depending on when you started, Andrew did start late. I think give yourself like 5 years to be blind, but you can't just be. I don't care how good your genetics are. You know what I'm saying? I
It
feel
also
like the way
depends on your situation. I mean, a guy like Andrew has big sponsors. His life is paid for. You know,
a
he
real
can
job
go
too.
all in. Does he still do engineering?
Yeah, he still does. Believe it or
Oh
not,
wow.
What the
it's
fuck?
like on call. It's like on call though. So it's like
Oh, okay.
but he still does. I mean, yeah, he still does it.
I didn't know that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So like he could not do that, and it wouldn't make any difference to him, right?
exactly,
But
exactly.
like yeah, eventually like down the road, I mean, there you go. Like when he's retired, he can be an engineer, and he can be like the coolest engineer ever.
Exactly.
Uh,
But like earlier, you said, "What if you were the roofer?"
yeah. Nothing
That
against
could,
roofers. It's just like that's a fucking hard job, dude. And it's
Yeah.
like it's
yeah,
being a bodybuilder is going to be detrimental to that line of work more than anything.
yeah.
You know?
What you're saying is that they're both going to be a detriment to each other, right? Roofing is going to take away from bodybuilding, bodybuilding will take away from roofing.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is if, well, it is. I don't think there's any way around that it's going to take away from each other. But if you're not delusional, as far as you know, like he said, he knows where he stands. Let's say you are a roofer, but you understand that you're not at 100% in either way, right? But you're making a good living and you're able to feed your family, and it's not taken away from you being able to take care of your family and businesses, and you're doing it because you enjoy it, right? And you're not taking away from your health too much because it might be a little bit. But if you're doing it in a healthy way, not a reckless way, and you're enjoying it, and it's not taking away so much that you can't feed your family and pay your bills, then there's an avenue for it to some extent, more like a hobby, right? Not like,
Yeah.
so
I've had a few people ask me, well, if your end goal is to just get your pro card, and if I got my pro card, I'm doing at least one show just to say I fucking did it. Be the best worst pro in my life. That's my goal. Best last place. But the thing is, would be like if people ask me why are you continuously doing this? Why are you hurting yourself? Why are you doing the things that it takes to be a bodybuilder? I think you could separate it into two categories. Number one, I love it. Number two, exactly what Stu said, it does help me with other avenues within my life that I'm still making money. When people go on my Instagram and they see what I have on the pictures and the videos and stuff like that, I live the lifestyle, right? Not only that I'm just being a bodybuilder, but I'm helping with educational purposes as well, guiding people. So it's kind of this in between of like I walk the walk and talk the talk, but I'm also educating for the longevity approach because I talk about calcium scores, I talk about heart health. So it all wraps up into one thing to say,
makes
hey,
sense.
maybe you can bodybuild on a safer side, right? And hopefully at the end of all this, we're all in great health and we all get, through this unscathed.
I
It's
think,
but it's that's how I look at it. So you are right, Stu. Like, yeah, I'm still making money. I'm still having that positive outlook of doing what I want, but also, making money.
yeah, yeah. Do you guys think this is an unpopular opinion? I think if you do things, I think at this point we all know how to do things the right way, right? If that makes sense. I think if you're doing things the right way, I honestly don't believe bodybuilding is that dangerous at most levels. Now we talk about 320. I think pushing 320, just the weight alone. I don't really care what your cycle is. Just the weight alone, I think that can be more detrimental. But you're taking blood pressure medications. You guys are taking with carvedilol and shit. You slowing down your heart rate. You taking care of every aspect, and then given that once you don't stop too old, right? You don't stop competing at 60, and then you completely go the opposite direction, start riding bikes and shit, and lose all the weight. I don't think it's crazy dangerous, right? The lifespan of a man in this country is like 69, 68. That's the average.
That's a pretty low bar.
That is a pretty low because
So, like, we're comparing ourselves to like a 40% obese population. Like,
yes,
we can do better than that, right?
I would hope so. But let's say if that's average, do you think bodybuilders are below average generally? I think it's about. I
Because of
think
the
we're.
kind of people they are, this is just like a personality kind of thing. It's like this industry and this sport draws in crazy people, and they don't know when to stop, right? So no, like as a like if you do things right, then yeah, it can be a lot less harmful. But because of who we are, I'm not even saying myself here. Like I don't think I'm too stupid, but like we're kind of crazy people, right? So when we get to 42 and it's like time to hang it up, then like you know you drop down to like 100 gigs of test a week, and then you're like, man, maybe I could just sprinkle a little. And it's like we've all heard people talk like this, right?
You got to be careful with that. Well,
Yeah.
you got about what, maybe 3 to 4 years to be stupid, and then you can't be stupid anymore. You know, I think to some extent, at least I feel like women, huh, women probably get more side effects, but I don't think it affects their longevity as much as men. As far as like lifespan
Yep.
and like health issues, their bodies seem to bounce back pretty quick. You know.
Can I? I got a buddy who's working for a hormone clinic. Actually, he does a lot of blood work and stuff in Vegas, and he was telling me that like surprisingly enough, a lot of the pro bodybuilders they're working with have great blood work. Like really, like for what they're doing, great blood work. And the ones that are really fucked up are the women, because not necessarily because they're like taking tons of drugs. Maybe it's because they're just like, I mean, there's the hormonal side with women, which is much more fickle.
Male hormones too, you know.
Yeah, and also like in terms of like, um, their health markers, their liver, their kidneys, their cholesterol, that kind of stuff. Like that's also messed up too. And I think maybe some gals that rationalize like I'm not pushing high doses of drugs, relatively speaking, so I don't have to do any kind of health supplementation.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
not pointing a finger at Alyssa or anything. That's when he told me that, like that's the only thing I could think of, right? Because like,
yeah.
I
I mean,
think
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of the women, unfortunately, get pressured by the boyfriends and husbands for doing stuff that they are uneducated about, and it puts them in a really bad position. And that's what I've personally seen, is that these poor women are getting influenced by their boyfriends or their this male coach, or as we know, we've heard all the horror stories. I think that's one of the reasons why. That's just my opinion.
What you think, Alyssa?
So it's a realistic case because over here in Texas, it's like all these chicks are taking what their boyfriends are taking, and I'm like, that's crazy that you're on test and you're a bikini competitor, or it's just crazy to hear that chicks are on test and train.
Yeah. Well, if you can't, I mean, if you can't make it to like the upper echelon in bikini without the use of test and fucking primo and mastermind and shit, I don't think you're gonna get there. Because right, I mean, what bikini isn't going for that look to begin with. So if you don't have the look, I don't think microdosing trend is going to get you there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think so. Open bodybuilding, maybe, but for bikini, even figure. I mean, Sydney Gillen was by far not even close to being the most muscular, shredded one on stage. She just had the best figure, right? I mean, it's called figure, But if you see her, she kind of looks like a normal fit girl, like a normal, like she like a track runner. If you see her around walking around,
Athletic, yeah, athletic.
yeah. But on that stage, she got the best body, not for bodybuilding criteria, but she has the best, I mean, physique up there,
What are
So
we talking about,
literally,
Beatty?
huh?
What are we talking about, Beatty?
It's one of those things, But yeah, I've noticed like female. I don't have a ton of female clients at the moment, but I've had in the past, and I've noticed maybe some more, depending on what division, maybe some more side effects. But long term, like some of them have stopped competing, and everything kind of just bounces back to normal. Give or take a little bit of this, that. but for the most part, everything goes back to normal. So, um, um, in some ways, you have more of a risk, but less of a risk, if that even makes sense. The guy side effects is like long term, like later down the line we see it, right? Whereas the women they see it right away, but long term, you look at some of the retired female bodybuilders like Linda Murray and those, they look fucking great. I mean, they look great. I don't know the health markers, but it looks. I would assume is fine. You know, I mean, so and they're like some of them are like in their 60s. You know, so
Yeah,
that's.
bro, Linda Murray's too old for you, man. Come on.
She looks phenomenal, right? Doesn't she? She looks
Yeah,
phenomenal.
you're right. I know what you mean.
I mean, they all pretty much. They all pretty much. I don't
What
remember seeing
about what
anyone.
about Iris Cow?
She, well, she looks phenomenal in her own way. In her own way, you know, just a different sort of phenomenal. But she looks great. You know, shout
The
out.
mistake you're making here is you're trying to judge health based off of how old they look, which is, not the best thing. Take it from me. Like, I'm healthier than I look. I know I'm ugly. Like, it doesn't mean I have, a pending heart attack.
I want to. I would love to continue that conversation, but I don't think I should say what I'm going to
Let's
say.
not.
I had a client. She checked in with me yesterday, and then she told me that she got blood work done through Merrick Health, and then she sent me like a list of supplementations that she was prescribed and ordered, and it was like testosterone, prednisone. I'm like, so now she's doing 8 milligrams of testosterone per week, and I'm just like, hey, if that's what your doctor is telling you to do, just follow their orders, I guess, because I don't have experience with the testosterone. So
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable. I would never prescribe that myself, but I've had female clients who've been prescribed that by a doctor. I mean, whatever that means. These days, the term doctor is a little
yeah,
shaky, you know. But they feel great. They look great. No side effects. I mean, it seems like I mean, fucking Halle Berry. I just saw like a clip. Halle Berry's on TRT or HRT, but she's taking tests, and she was like, "Oh my god, she's never felt this good in her life and
Yeah,
stuff." You know,
why? Because it's the same reason why, female to male transgender teenagers feel amazing when they do it. It's because test makes you feel great. Anyone who's taken a test knows that. It's like whether you're a man or a woman, the test is amazing. And it increases like dopamine and drive and like all of this good shit, right?
yeah.
It doesn't. I'm not saying there's not a place for testosterone replacement therapy for women. I don't know enough about that to comment really, but
Yeah.
So we do it at my clinic, and there's a lot more that goes into just testosterone. It's progesterone, it's estradiol. You have to look
Everything
at you
under
have to look
pressure.
at their thyroid. So it's just it's a combining nature of everything. We actually do a cream, and we start with a very very low dose. It's
I
a
do a
two.
cream too.
You do a cream? I was about to say, fuck, that shit's wet on your balls. That's uncomfortable. Anyways, yeah, so we do a treatment, but like there's like stages that you do this in. You can't just rip off the bat, give a woman 80 milligrams per week, and she's like, oh, there's premenopausal, postmenopausal. There's so many different things that are going on, and
Yeah.
there's like, and it depends on when you do your hormones within their lunar cycle. So you have to figure out all this stuff to line it up. Women are very, very interesting.
yeah, they're confusing, dude. I know.
Yeah.
I fucking live with one.
But but it's funny Stu says that because in the interview, she like, really, you feel great? How? And then Halle Berry was like, oh, my libido, and I'm like, you see, of course,
Oh
yeah, you damn
shit.
right,
So
of course.
nine times out of 10, if a woman signs up, I ask her, I was like, "Is your husband on HRT?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "He will be." And literally 2 months later, when we recheck their blood work, their husband's like, "So, what's this stuff you got?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, here we go."
You see,
So,
So since what is a normal-ish dose, or what kind of range of doses is normal for like TRT for women?
so it really depends on the individual. And I know that sounds like a stupid ass answer.
No, that's why I asked for a range because I know it's going to be
Yeah,
crazy.
we shoot anywhere from 70 to 200.
Damn.
Sometimes,
A
yeah.
week, really?
No, excuse me. I thought you meant their test levels. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
No,
like,
yeah.
damn.
Okay.
no,
Iris
no.
Styles to TLT over there.
So, no, sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry.
Imagine. It depends with the creams. It'll be a 2.5%. So anywhere from like 20 milligrams up to 80. But you got to remember, it's a cream. It's not an oil, so it affects the body differently. It's a 12. It's like a 12-hour spread release. And it
Okay.
also, I know it's not like a direct answer, but
Oh, that's
it's a
interesting.
way lower dose than what you would think. And it's a cream, so it doesn't give you this looping effect and stays in your bloodstream. You have to apply it every night or every day, depends.
Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of
So
like a test suspension,
yeah, yeah,
if you want to if you want to like call it. I mean, that's the best
yeah.
way I could describe it in a way.
We need to get gals banging test suspension and just going to the gym like.
If you if your dog comes and licks you and you have test cream on,
Yes.
if that
So
will
if you put test cream on your nuts before you went to bed and you had intercourse, it would transfer to the woman.
Why would I do that though?
I'm just it
well,
just
there's a lot of
It's a
reasons.
Is
really
that where you're supposed
specific.
to? Is that where you're supposed to apply it?
for the
What
cream.
a woman
Yes.
doesn't have testicles. Where does she
No.
apply it then?
She applies it to her labia. So
Really?
yeah.
That sounds like a great
So
idea.
that's an awkward conversation.
No, I have them all day. It's fucking great.
You get used to it, huh? Well, so
Yeah,
I
honestly,
guess you're kind of sharing then if your wife's on
Exactly.
TRT, then you are going to be on TRT
yes,
by
technically.
proxy. Yeah.
Yeah, because it just helps with the woman's like reproductive system and keeps it from
Yeah.
drying out over time. And remember, I deal with more older clientele. But
So
there are
postmenopausal women, do they need to use more? Or
usually yes. We usually put them on
okay,
an 8%, which is 80 milligrams.
okay.
Um,
Well, so
yeah,
if you want your girl's libido to go up, just put some cream on yourself, and then
that's it.
her libido gonna go up. Okay, yeah, all right. That
Is that
sounds fun.
illegal?
Hey, have you ever prescribed Cialis for? Well, I don't know if you do prescriptions.
No,
Have you
I
ever
don't
known of?
prescribe, but our doctor does.
Have you ever seen a woman use Cialis?
No, but they do take PT-141.
Okay, okay.
They do. It does help with
I've heard
that.
of that. What is
Yeah.
that? It's a peptide, right?
Yeah, it's a peptide. It just helps with it gives some people the urge, but helps with ED. But also within women, it gives them that helps with ED as well because everything's internally, so it stimulates them from with inside, and it does give them the urge too. There's a it's an awesome peptide. It's like melanotan 2 without the
Yeah, that's right. It's related to melanotan. Okay, yeah.
so I took too much melanotan 2 one time and fucking I was like I had like 15 boners in a day. I was like, this is fucking insane. I was like, I feel like I'm 15. I didn't know what to
Yeah,
do. Yeah. So it acts as the same, but you don't get that nauseous effect from it.
yeah, yeah. This company actually sent me the PT, whatever it's called. I didn't know what it was at the time, but the guy explained it to me, and I was like, he watches the podcast. That's why he sent it to me, right? And I was like, what made you think that I need some PT from watching the podcast? You know,
Hey
what,
man,
what?
maybe you want to just I don't know, get on Bumble, Tinder. I don't know what you guys got. Tinder. I don't know what the dating apps are any longer.
But yeah, but Cialis for women has a similar effect actually. It has like they get girl boners, I guess. I don't know what you call it,
I
but
wish I got.
they get the urge. They get the urge. So anybody who hasn't tried it, try it out. This
I don't know.
is
Maybe I'll make my wife take it. See what happens.
yeah, yeah. Well, you gonna make her take it, or you gonna bring it up?
No, I'm gonna
Say,
make her
take,
take it.
Spike your drink or something?
No, I'll be like, yo,
right.
take this pill real quick. Let me see what. No,
Hey, take it. Trust me.
I actually have sublinguals for my pharmacy. They go right through your tongue.
Okay. All right. Before I got on the podcast, I was looking through Instagram to see if some shit happened that I didn't know about. Um, all I saw was that George Foreman died. Rest in peace, George Foreman.
Yeah.
But I keep I keep running into this page. I actually met this guy at Zoo Culture before, but this was a long time ago. But but these videos make me laugh, man. It's been going viral. Let me see. Y'all know this guy, Ashton Hall?
Oh my god, the dude puts his
Oh,
fucking with the ice cold water with the lemon and shit,
yeah,
bro.
he's like the premium Negro, right?
But basically, at this point, bro, I can't tell if he's serious. Part of me feels like he's trolling because, like, meeting him in person, he seems like just a regular dude, but he seems like he could be a troll, low key. I think he has to be trolling. I think he's getting views, so I think he's purposely. There's no way I could believe that this is serious, right? I mean, he got money, so it's not like it's fake or anything like that. I know he's rich, but just the video, this is crazy to me. Let me just click one in case anybody didn't see it. Oh, this is a picture.
Crazy physique though for like an athletic like.
Okay, so that's another. I think I know nobody believes he's natural, but the vibe I got for him is that he doesn't want to be a bodybuilder. He doesn't want to look like a bodybuilder. He doesn't give a fuck about bodybuilding. He's not even the way he works out. You can tell he doesn't care to build muscle. But genetics, bro. Some people. I know it's hard to believe, bro. But there were guys like this in my football team and the whole nine. They don't give a
Football
fuck about
players,
how they.
just look at football players, dude. That
Yeah,
rests my case.
you got to know them and understand that just because we care about a physique so much, some people don't. Like some people don't give a fuck how they look. They're not even training to look good. They just run and they do a little bit of this. He trains like just a regular guy who doesn't even train like an athlete. He's not trying to get buff. He just is. It just unfortunately, I'm sorry. Some people are just look like that, man. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, so the gear thing, I find it hard to believe he would take gear for the fact that he doesn't really give a fuck about how he looks. But let me click on this.
What's he doing with the ice water and lemons?
Hell yeah.
Why this shit paused? Wait, the shit froze for a second. Hold up. He does like face dips his face in it. Some shit.
Okay.
Hold on, why is this?
Stops you from getting ashy.
This this shit froze for something. Let me see if it.
You definitely got to find like the whole routine though, like from morning
Yeah,
to like.
I want to find a good one because
He was eating salmon in the bathtub, bro.
What?
you can't make this shit up. I mean,
He's definitely a troll. Come on.
Fuck,
well,
man.
the shit he has to be trolling, man. There's no way. Okay, this is okay. He
Hell,
talks about it.
oh,
Okay. Okay. And that water is expensive as fuck to be using for your
hell
face,
yeah.
by the way.
Oh, is that collagen? For sure.
Collagen, face dipping in collagen.
Hell
Okay.
yeah. Who comes?
Okay.
Trainer.
Trey Songz. Trey Songz give him a haircut.
What's he lining him up for? He looked perfect before. What?
he had a perfect hairline and got a
Trimmed
haircut
like
anyways.
3 hairs off his face.
This is the like Stu said. This is the prototype right here. This
Hell
is
yeah.
the black guy prototype here. Okay.
Yeah, he would have been worth a lot.
Somebody said that in the comments. Actually, I've been seeing those comments.
Bro, Quinn put up a post like years ago now, and all of it went viral, and everyone was like, he would command a hefty price.
But this dude
terrible.
is training. He's training in mouth tape.
He left the house in mouth tape, bro.
He did. Yeah, that's
Like that's a okay.
well. At least he gave himself a ride this time. He didn't have the driver take him.
Keep his lips moist.
Alright.
Okay,
Doing some-
that one is pretty. Okay, let me see again.
Oh, he plays tennis too?
Yeah.
He used to write
water again.
He used to write the time.
Lemons.
It's lemons this today. He used to write the time in the corner, and I was like, wait, he did all that in 3 hours?
Hell yeah. I saw one of those. I was like,
I was like, wait,
times
what?
are all off.
This is also like aggressive product placement, like
Yeah, it
for the
is.
stuff he's wearing and stuff.
He has to. That water has to sponsor him. There's no way he's showing that water that much.
How much is that water? Is that really that much?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've never tried it myself, but he gets a lineup every day. That's a sharp lineup, bro.
Bro, I wish I could shave my bald ass head every day. It'd be fucking
I
Oh,
want to.
fresh tennis balls. Yeah.
I want to find the most aggressive one. Which one? Which one of him is
I
the
don't know. I want to see the
most?
salmon one again because you guys would be like, "What the fuck is this dude doing?"
Dude, the every single video is him pouring water into a bowl. Look like he's on the back tailgate of his G wagon. Scroll up with the bowl of water.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bring me my bowl.
That's wild. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, the guy's impressive. I'm not gonna lie. The guy's a very impressive young man.
Oh, he's
And they got
drinking
water
fancy
again.
water.
Hell yeah.
I've been seeing people doing like remakes, and they getting a lot of views for the remakes as well. Just because the shit is when I first started, I was like, wait, how did this get a million views? And then I'm watching it, and then I'm like, maybe for the same reason I'm watching it. Maybe it's just I'm just looking at it like, wait, what the fuck is even going on? Is this real? Is this serious? You can't tell. So I think everybody's watching it for the same reason. More so, like, what the fuck is going on?
All right, for real though, is there an actual benefit for dunking your face in the morning?
For like 5 seconds, maybe it keeps you younger for like 5 minutes, but
Yeah.
long term, I can't see it. I can't see that
It's
being
not
a
like
thing.
I wouldn't say cold plunge, but I was just wondering if like
You gotta buy his course to learn the secrets of the face plunge.
Yeah. But listen, I would be I would be should I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast. I would be interested in how he built like such a successful business online from running. I mean, from running and posting workouts. I mean,
Okay,
that
so
seems like
like, yeah, does he have a successful business? I don't know.
he
Like,
has money. I mean,
let me explain. Okay, so he's using the same bottle of water every time, right? The expensive water. He could refill it. He
good
could
point.
rent those cars. You know, he has like he films the same videos every single day. It's him like either running or like splashing his face and like on a creating content, doing a fake podcast or something. It's like this could be very easy to fake, you
It
know?
could be, yeah. Some
Get his
people do fake
buddy
it.
to do a lineup for him and like I don't know, man.
Some people do fake it. I
He does
mean,
have a
but
lot of shoes though.
I mean, if you just add up his views and his following, his interaction from social media alone, he would be a millionaire if we're just
Sure,
being right.
yeah.
But actual, like you said, actual businesses he owns and that we don't know. But if he's if he's smart enough to hire somebody to help him, well, he could easily right. He could easily be more rich. Once you have money, it's easy to make money. So he's in a position where he can be as rich as he's showing. Is
Yeah,
he
I'm not saying
actually
he's a liar. All I'm saying is like the content could be easily faked, you
for
know.
sure? Yeah.
And I
And
think that's like the people who do sell courses, right? They
Mhm.
all you get in a course is instructions on how to sell courses. So
that's true.
like,
Yeah,
you,
that's
you
true.
need to create an image that is not real. Like, look at me, I'm successful. Buy my course, and it's like it's a pyramid scheme, basically. You know, I don't know. Does this guy sell courses? He seems like a course
Yeah, he
seller.
does for sure. He does for
Of
sure.
course he does. I can smell it.
8.8 is crazy, and this is recent though. I mean, he's always had a big following, but it wasn't 8.8.
If all right, I got a question. If you guys had 8.8 million followers, what would you do with your social media?
I
Like,
would, dude. I would shit post constantly. So,
but like, if you think about that, you have 8.8 million people that are viewing your profile and wanting to
You could
see
sell
you.
anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you are Stu. You're 100% right. Because every time I look at these rich guys and I see this shit, I'm like, you're a fucking scammer, probably. Like in my eyes, you're just taking people's money for
Most of them
whatever.
are. I mean, most of them are. I mean, if you watch Cali Muscle's career,
Oh,
you could call most of it scamming. I mean, for the most part, like they understand the following they have, and when they're hot, they'll use it. You know, they could sell fucking socks. I've seen them sell watches. I've seen everything, and I mean, if you have just what they say 2% is realistic minimum,
right.
2% of 8 million. I mean, selling it right, whatever you sell, you're selling $20 a piece. It could be an ebook. It could be I mean, within a couple of days, you could make seven figures, right? So as long as you leverage it, I would hire somebody to help me. I would have my vision, but I would hire somebody to put in place. I would know what I want to do with my life, but then I would have somebody who knows how to turn it into money a lot better than I do. And I think that would be the best way. I would hire Ashton. I would hire him to show me what the fuck to do. I'll get a course.
Highest course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where can I see the Detroit Pro lineup? Probably the page, right? Let me see.
I think Sass or Bonac is going to win that. And
I,
I'm leaning towards Sass.
I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, which is it's next week, I think. No,
Yeah, 6 days. Oh, James is in town. He's
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, he's in Texas until he goes up to Detroit. I don't know
You guys,
what days he's going up.
you guys just train legs, right?
Yeah, dude, they fucked me up.
Really?
Like, yeah, I'm still feeling it. It hurt. It was a good
okay.
session though.
Wait, it was with James and who? Who did you train legs with?
Me, James, Pete, and Garrett.
Because
And they're
the way
all
James,
bald.
No, fucking DHT. DHT got me a long time ago. Got me
There's
a
no
bunch of.
hope. Never any hope.
That's
that
I was
shit's terrible.
20. Yeah. I used a lot of got to be glue. Maybe I should sue them. You guys remember that?
Yeah,
What?
I remember that shit.
Got to be glue.
It's like a company for hair,
Yeah,
hair
it's a
products
company.
and
It's in a
shit.
yellow. It's like a glue. I used to have a blowout.
Hey, where do I get the full lineup?
Maybe
This
go to
is
the
last year,
tagged.
dude. This is last year's posts.
Oh,
Scroll back up.
Maybe
Yeah,
the
I don't.
tagged.
I looked through here. I didn't see a
you didn't see a lineup?
full list. They're gonna release it tomorrow.
But there's like we got to know some of them. Okay,
Matt
then
Grigos.
okay.
Okay.
Well, we know Bonac is doing it. We know Sass is doing it. We know Carlos is doing it. We know
Hollingshead.
Hollingshead is doing it.
Yep. That's
Oh,
why
I
he's
thought
in
he
the
was
States.
just. Oh, I thought he was just making an appearance because he was on the podcast.
Yeah,
Oh
bro.
shit!
He's doing it.
With
He said he might be hitting a lot of shows here early in the year. Actually,
tell him to come to Cal.
he might actually.
Hang out with us. Okay, so that would probably be the top four, right?
You got Wyatt,
Oh,
Yeah,
Wyatt, yeah,
yeah,
Wyatt didn't
yeah.
do it.
Ron Gordon.
Oh shit! Damn. Okay, that's pretty good. Well, I
Ron
don't know
actually
if
looks
that's
like fucking freaky right now.
That's
his legs
impressive. That
look
guy's
bigger.
impressive, man.
Yeah, his legs look a lot bigger to me. We know he's gonna be in shape, so if he looks big, especially in the lower body, I think that's a great sign. Let me pull it up.
What's his Instagram? RPG, right?
Yeah, RPG or
Oh,
Mr.
Mr. R.
RPG underscore. He's a tall guy too. That looks good, man.
Yeah.
Those legs look really up. You know, always had good shape, and obviously, but the legs look full to me. So as long as if he keeps that fullness, man, that's pretty dangerous. All
Ugh.
right, so let's say who y'all got top three? Let's start with Alyssa.
William winning it. Sauce on second. Ugh. I mean, I don't know the full lineup, but I'm gonna
You got
put
Gordon, Carlos, RPG. I think Gordon. Well, RPG, Carlos, Wyatt, Hollingshead.
well, I'll put James third.
Who you got fourth?
I don't know what the back of Ron looks like, but
It's
I'm gonna
good.
go put
It's very good.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
From the waist
yeah,
up, it's like crazy good. From the waist down, he needs some more meat on him. But
It's
yeah.
peeled, but not crazy dense from behind.
tall
I
guy
don't
problems.
know. I don't know. I got faith in my boy Justin.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna be peeled from behind. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I'm putting him in fourth.
What you got? What you got, Stu?
Uh, same thing, but swap Sasan and Bonac. Because I think Sasan has like they're both kind of like a little shorter, and Sasan they're not super wide, but Sass is like I think his front double and like his shape is better. Uh,
Then
and
who?
they're compared to Bonac.
When was the
Okay.
last time he's competed?
It was in Spain last year. He was off for years, and then he came back in Spain. And I think he should have placed better there. I think he was like fifth or sixth, but
Yeah, with
that's
Sass,
from last year.
I still feel like he needs some more size.
This is from last year.
Yeah, he's gonna be bigger this year. I'm pretty
He
sure.
has videos that he's put up recently. That's why I
Oh,
thought
you have
Yes,
recent ones?
some
Okay.
clean muscle bellies.
Oh, okay. He looks bigger. Sometimes his posing, sometimes his posing is a little off in the back poses. That looks good. That looks good.
That looks good.
That does look good. That does look good. Yeah. Yeah. No, that looks good. Well, Sass watches the podcast. Believe it or not, you wouldn't think he would, but
really.
shout out
Oh,
Sass.
I says I got you. I got you
Appreciate
winning.
Sass.
You better win. And on the right there, look at his hamstring. Like, what the fuck is that, man?
Yeah, that's pretty fucking
What
good.
is that?
You know he
Damn.
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Wait,
You
can
talk
I change my
about
picks?
I
so when you talk about balance, sometimes the balance guys sometimes don't stand out because they don't have the freaky body parts, but everything is there. Because in my head, I always felt like he needed more arms, but I mean it goes with the body, man. I mean, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't goes yeah
Little triceps missing, but like you said, it's kind of matchy.
yeah
Beautiful, beautiful six pack.
yeah. And I got to be honest. I mean, when you look at the whole physique, sometimes I don't think these days judges care as much about the arms as maybe they did in the past. Like they gotta be there, right? But like you just said, he doesn't have like crazy triceps. But like
Go
I
to
feel
the
like a
side
lot,
chest below that one. Let's see the side chest.
I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily, right?
I mean, he's got some sweep there. It's poking out. Not
It
like in a
is.
bad way, it's not poking out. Like, doesn't look
Yeah.
weird poking out. It's like round.
It's there.
But look at the shoulders, the legs. Yeah, that's really
There's
impressive.
no gap in there at all.
Uh-uh.
No, no, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, do Derek and Hadi have like crazy sweeps to their arms? Not really, right?
Hadi has pointier triceps.
And
Again,
pointier
not like
biceps.
weirdly. It's just the shape of it isn't round. It's peaky
Sh-
almost.
Short, yeah. His biceps have like a similar look too. Um, yeah, I think he has more than enough. And we're not talking about him winning Olympia here, right? We're talking about him winning Detroit. I think he has more than enough to. I think he has more than enough to win. If I'm being honest. Um, Bonak's condition, like in person, actually is fucking insane, especially for like a Nigerian guy. Um,
Ghanaian, you mean?
oh, I'm sorry. Wow, I called. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ghanaian guy. As long as Sauce is like stupid peeled, he could win, man. He could win. You know, because what does? Well, I mean, Bonak looks fucking crazy though. But what does Bonak beat him on? I guess. Would you say density?
I would have said density last year, but like what he looks like right now, no. I mean, the side leg, like the completeness. They both have kind of narrow shoulders, but I think they have other similar positive attributes. But Sass is just a little bit more complete. His quads are a little better, and his hamstrings from the side are a little better.
You know what's funny? They actually kind of have similar physiques now that I'm looking at them. They're both
Yeah.
pretty
I
funny.
literally just said that, but yeah.
Oh, you said Saz have a better waist. You said that too, probably.
Well, I don't
It's
know about. Yeah, I guess
smaller
it's more
waist.
of like because Bonak's lats go down to his hip, right? And in the front
Mm,
double, that looks a little odd because you're just Dorito shaped. You're not like Y shaped, right?
yeah, yeah. Bonak,
H shape.
Bonak isn't as bubbly as he used to be, but he's still more bubbly than Sass in like the
But
arms,
look at his side, his hamstring there.
if not like
Uh,
Sass.
yeah, Sass is gonna mop him in that pose, and this is a good pose too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess it's reverse. Sass's lower body is more bubbly than Bonak, and Williams' upper body is more bubbly than Sass. Like it's mostly really his arms, forearms. Sass's shoulders are pretty round though.
Yeah,
So yeah,
man.
I mean that's going to be a good battle. But Alyssa
I'm
has Sass
no, I'm
and
sticking
Stu
with William. I'm gonna stick with William as the winner.
William
Hmm.
and Stu got Sass. Stu got Sass. Okay.
Shout out
And
Persia.
what about DT?
I'm gonna go Sass, Bonac, and James. And for fourth, I'm gonna go with Justin because I want to give him. I don't know. I feel like just what I've saw with him. I think him over RPG could definitely be for sure.
Yeah.
That's just me.
If you know Justin personally, you know how big he is, like how dense he is.
I don't. That's the
He's
thing.
Okay.
thick as fuck.
I'm just going
But
off of
but
like visual.
but is it me or like in the pictures, he doesn't look as dense as he is in person. He looks shredded, but he doesn't like if I didn't know him, let me see. Because I
Like
was
when I
watching
seen him at Texas last year, I've not seen a human being that thick. Like
he
it
looks
makes you
stacked.
like do a double take.
When he
Yeah,
said he was 272, and you showed me the pictures, I was like, okay, then that's
He's
a
like,
big play.
I think he's like 260 right now a week out, and that's a shitload of muscle on his frame. And you're right, Alyssa, front to back, like turn sideways. How thick is this man? He's really, really thick. It's just that doesn't translate to width on him.
Exactly. Like
So,
the
like,
width.
yeah, a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot of people, but like most people don't reach his level of muscularity without appearing like really large. Usually shit starts popping out outwards instead of just like front to back, you know?
Hmm.
And that's why like because his frame isn't it's weird, man, because like his frame looks kind of big in person and then in pictures it's like it doesn't look as big, you
It's
know?
that's
almost
exactly
like
what the
if he's
mhm.
standing in a rear relax, like if he was holding a rack pull, like his back it looks wide, but then when he hits a rear double, it doesn't show that. It doesn't showcase the width in the pose. That's just what I've seen.
Uh,
If yeah, if I didn't know him, looking at the pictures, he doesn't look like crazy dense to me. I mean, he looks like grainy and shredded, but he looks like you wouldn't be able to tell how big he was. I think when you see him on stage, for people who don't know him, I think they'll be surprised how big he looks on stage. So
yeah, probably another guy that looks better in lineups than on his own.
Yeah,
that's a big. I think that's a really good thing because a lot of people look better in pictures. So well,
I
Vito's
think
not doing it.
no, Vito looks sick, but I think with Justin, I think one aspect could improve is the posing. Um, I just noticed some things posing wise, but I don't want to like be like, hey, let me help you. But that's something he'll learn on his own. But
But he can listen to this unless you post it after Detroit, which is possible, baby.
Yeah, yeah. He's Justin's a bit stiff. He is a bit stiff. I'll say that. Like either, it looks like hitting the poses isn't like super comfortable. I don't know if that was
Exactly.
something.
And that's what's when you're on a pro stage and they're putting you round through round through round or making you hold them and just little things. Those are the little things when you get to the top level that make a huge difference. Whether you can hold a pose, stay in it, keep your stomach tight, keep your legs flexed in the right position, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Some
actually wonder if, because I think we all agree on Sass and Bonac in first place or first and second, but he's kind of similar to them too, where he's like very muscular and dense and kind of a narrower
narrow. Yeah,
structure, you know? So like maybe James is the odd man out in that group of four. You know what
might
I'm
be.
saying?
If
Well,
James comes in like he did Saturday night at the Arnold, I think he'll do well.
yeah,
James told me that he was before the Arnold, he was 255, which for a guy his height is way too fucking light.
I agree.
And,
I
and
agree.
he like after the show, he ate himself back up to like 270. Basically, he was in the same condition, just way bigger. I mean, just like Justin, like he has to eat a shitload of food to the point where like most coaches are not going to feed him what he needs to eat.
That happens so often, man. Where it's like you want more detail, and you keep going down, and you don't get more detail. And if you do, it's like 2% more detail just to lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
That happens very often, and it's not a good thing. It doesn't look better, but I
And
guess
James isn't a
you
detailed
mhm.
guy. Like he doesn't get that.
Not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So we've seen Andrew come in lighter, and it's like doesn't look better. I still think Texas looks better. It just the same. I feel like it's almost the same amount of detail with like 20 more pounds. You know, when James won those two shows, he was round and full, man. Whatever details he had, it is what it is. It wasn't like hottie details, but it was more than enough. I really think that's even like Steve Weinberger said that he's not going for like the crazy grainy condition, right? So fuck it, why just come in that bitch full as fuck, you know. Oh, I guess I didn't make my picks. Um, I think I got Sauce and Bone. Like it's kind of hard to pick one. I think because I think it's so close, but I'm gonna pick Bonac just because the track record. He's won more shows, the whole nine. So I'm gonna pick Bonac, but I think Sauce is within a point. I think they're within like a point of each other, one way or the other. Bonac Sauce, but I'm gonna go RPG actually. I'm gonna go RPG, and then I'm gonna go. Uh, then I'm gonna go James and Carlos, and then I would have Wyatt. Honestly, I would have Wyatt, Carlos, and James all within points from each other. I feel like it depends, right? There's too many factors. Like we know what James can do, but he doesn't always bring that, right? We know what Carlos can do. We haven't seen it yet, but we know it's possible, right? And Wyatt, we don't really know. We never seen him on a pro stage. We just know as an amateur, he looked fucking insane. We assume it's going to be more of the same and better. So those are going to be close, but those are kind of like unknowns. Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna hop off. I gotta go post somebody.
All right. All right. All right. Listen.
Is it
See ya.
Justin?
No, it's not. It's actually one of our followers. His name's Khalid, or viewers. He watches the podcast.
Well, shout out
What's his
Khalid. I hope
What's
you
his
did
IG?
good.
I think I know what you're talking about. I met him at the Olympia, I think.
I think it's like local engineer,
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
I met him at the Olympia Expo actually.
yeah.
I met
Smart,
him.
smart guy. He looks
Yeah,
great. He's doing well.
cool.
So,
Is he competing? He's competing this year.
yeah, I want to say around 12, 13 weeks out, I think. So
Dope.
I'm posing
Shout
him
out,
every Sunday. Yeah.
shout out Khalid.
Good luck,
Hell yeah.
Khalid.
And if you need
Let's
posing
go.
help,
Alhamdulillah.
DM Melissa if you need posing help.
Yeah, $50 for 30 minutes. Hit me up.
There we go. Boom.
All right. Later,
All right,
boys.
listen.
Peace.
All right, let's do some questions and hop off here.
Where the fuck is Ken, dude?
I
He's
don't
got
know.
bigger things to do.
I feel like he's in the zone. I feel like he's in the zone. Yeah, like I feel like I want people to hop on when they feel, like he was fine though on the podcast. He seemed great, but I know like how you. I know he's suffering, even though he was fine. So I want him to suffer peacefully.
Just miss him.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna keep sending him links, but I don't want to pressure him too much. Shout out Ken. I think for the pro debut too, I think mentally you just want to be in a space where you kind of just do your thing, right? Low key. All right. Let's see. I'm really excited to see Carlos, by the way. I want to. And I was talking to him the other day, but I didn't ask the question, but I probably should have asked it because I've heard people say he's with a different coach, but I don't know if he. I don't think he's confirmed that. I'm gonna ask him. I probably won't say it on the podcast though, depending. All right. Points. Should they go back to points? Should they go back to points with more qualified guys doing more? Okay, he's asking, should they go back to the point system since guys like Derek and Martin and Nick are doing more shows?
Yeah, please. I just want to qualify, dude. Fuck.
I think they should continue to change it based off of the landscape because when they changed it away from points, it made sense because it was like a long year and you had still recovering from COVID and there was a bunch of shows for some reason and nobody wanted to compete. So a bunch of people were qualifying that don't usually qualify and it was a big. Now it's the opposite. I think there's a lot of good guys and they're gonna have to do a bunch of shows. Andrew hasn't qualified, but nobody has qualified. So it's like, and if Derek is about to do another show, he just take another qualification, and that's going to take away from Nick and Martin. They're going to have to do more shows, and then we don't want to have 12 guys at the Olympian either.
Right.
So I think once they catch on, they should do either top two or points or something like that, and at their discretion. I think in the middle of the year, change it if you need to. If it's like halfway in the year, you're like, what the fuck? Change it. Nobody's gonna be upset, right? Just change it.
I think it just gives. Go ahead, Stu. Go.
That would kind of fuck people up too, because like if your strategy is to hit a lot of shows, like what's his name? Steve? No, the German guy. What's his name?
Which one?
Uh,
Vlad?
no, he's German. The miner, Tim Busheim.
Uh-oh.
He did so many shows last year, and he almost certainly would have been a points leader if that had been a thing. But
and honestly, I think it would have been warranted. I don't think anybody would have an issue with that.
yeah,
He earned that shit.
yeah. I mean, at the very least, don't start axing shows. Like I was going to do 4 shows this year, and it's down to 2 now because they got rid of Vancouver, and Chicago doesn't have open; it just has Masters. Mm-hmm. So now it's just Tampa and Texas. And that's basically all I can hit, unless I want to fly to fucking Italy.
I think the simplest way to fix this, which at one point, this was a thing. Sometime in the 90s, I don't know, or at one point this was a thing, right? So if you're already qualified, instead of giving you a double qualification, which doesn't make sense, get the first place prize money and just carry over the qualification to the next one.
Yeah, that's what I agree.
Maybe not the Olympia one because like Derek is qualified for life, so maybe not like the first one. But let's say, right, he does Pittsburgh and he wins Pittsburgh. Whoever gets second should get the qualification because it just doesn't, right? It just makes more sense that way. You should be able to earn as much money as you want. If Derek wants to do every show, he should be able to do that and get all the prize money. But the qualification should go down to the next person it just makes more sense, honestly, that way. So what do you think about that, Stu? Make sense?
Oh, yeah. I feel a little weird about that, but
it's a little strange, but
yeah.
But given the circumstances.
I also feel like with the point system, there's some people that complain that people don't compete enough. Well, this would allow for people to compete more and more if they want to get to that Olympia. You know, if they're going on points. So I like the point system for everybody. Just it gives everyone opportunity because, like you said, if Derek's doing 4 or 5 shows, well, that might be 4 or 5 less chances.
Yeah.
You know,
It should. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you
I
if
yeah.
if you don't compete, huh?
Go ahead.
I don't say when you don't compete a bunch of times, I feel like people talk shit, and if you compete a bunch of times, people talk shit and say, "Well, this is why you're not improving," and you're right. So it's like either or. People. I heard Bob Chick say Samson shouldn't have done Arnold because now his momentum is going to be cut. But it's like I feel like those '90s guys are the same people that say stop being pussy and do more shows. So it's like no
Yeah.
matter
It's almost like they're impossible to please.
pretty much. So don't even try. Just do your thing because no matter what you do, it's wrong. So shit. The posing routines are boring. You try to do something fun like Andrew, it's still shit and it's weird. Like
Nobody trains hard.
No trains.
Did we mention nobody trains hard?
Nobody trains hard.
Oh,
Guys take too much
they
drugs.
don't diet how we used to. They're not doing 3 hours of cardio.
Yo, I was watching the old school podcast. By the way, I'm fans of all those guys. I love DJ and Flex and Milos. Those guys are all great, right? But it was funny because when they brought up SEOs, and everybody somehow had the same answer. Oh, I tried it once. Everybody just tried it once. No, not Milos. He doesn't like Milos keeps it a buck. He said he regrets it, but he did a bunch in his arms. The funny part of Milos probably did it the least out of all of them. But they had Flex Will on the podcast, bro. Let's be real. So with all due respect, Milos I actually probably did it the least, and he was the most honest about it. And Flex was like, "I'll try that once on my arms," and I'm like,
once, man. Well, I want to find that shit. Whatever you tried once.
He just tried it once and then never stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
The funny part is, I've heard Cormier say plenty of times he was like he never shot up, right? He didn't believe in that. But then Flex was like, "Chris, you're the one who taught me how to do it." Literally on the podcast, he was like, "You taught me how to do it, bro." And like, and he's like, "Isn't that crazy? Like, you literally taught me how to do it." So that's kind of funny. And Dexter said the same thing about Chris. With all due respect, he said, "You taught me how to do it." So it's funny how you can teach people how to do it, but you just don't do it. Right? I just learned how to do it. So.
I just figured it out before you guys.
Now, Chris Cormier actually appeared to be the less shot up. He, like, from appearance wise, he looked the least shot up out of everybody, right? So
yeah, definitely.
Whatever. I actually don't think he did a ton of it, or he was just really fucking good at it, one or the other.
What do you think? What do you think Marcus Rule was taking besides smoking cigarettes?
I mean, he
like, bro, like I
looked pretty loaded.
I was like, you remember that? You guys probably gonna remember this. He's like walking in the grocery store with his wife, or his girlfriend, whoever she was.
Yeah,
and just like he has this like cut off, and it's just like the way it's just like kind of like hovering on him in a sense. He just fucking goes outside, starts ripping cigs. I'm like,
it was insane.
This guy's sick. I was like,
that's something we don't do anymore. Like we don't smoke cigarettes. We don't actually a lot of the open guys that I know are fucking squares. Like we don't do drugs. We don't party. Yeah. Like we don't do fun stuff.
Funny you say that, yeah.
Tell me with a straight face that Chris was more devoted to his bodybuilding career. Like,
no, I mean, besides DJ, besides Dennis, Ronnie and them. I mean, most of them are fucking partying a lot.
Yeah, they go out and party after shows. It's just like a regular thing.
Sometimes before shows,
Yeah, I mean,
I went to hang out with Jordan Hutchison, and I went to his house for a couple days. Me and my wife, when they lived at their old apartment, and then they're like, "You guys smoke weed?" And me and my wife were like, "No." They're like, "Oh my god, wow, it's so hard to find like a few like bodybuilders that don't do anything." I was like,
they do weed. Guys
No,
today, guys today do weed.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but like Jordan and Britain, they're like, I was like,
Oh, they're teetotalers.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Me and my wife are like, nah, we're good. They're like, oh wow, this is great.
Yeah.
Because I'm met a few bodybuilders, like just like you were saying, Stu, like more dedicated to bodybuilding. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Well, dude,
Drinking.
I like drugs, obviously.
right,
Like, if you like, it's like in addiction circles, they call it the disease of more, which is when you have something and it feels good, you just want to always do more of it, more of it, more of it. And like we kind of do that with steroids,
mm-hmm.
right? And I think if I'd started doing it, I'd probably be doing that with like narcotics. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I never really had access to it. But so I don't have that as part of my life, fortunately. But I think
Yeah.
if my path had been different, it very well may have been that instead.
Cool, man.
Yeah. I like drugs too. It's just that the way our lifestyles are set up, it just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be possible for us to even do it. Really,
Yeah,
you know.
Drugs are scary nowadays, dude. I just assume everything is full of fentanyl.
and all.
Probably
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
That's because it is too. You know.
Yeah.
That's because it is. I would know, right? So.
You would not.
No, but yeah, those guys did drugs. When Dorian retired, he actually started doing a lot of partying and drugs because, like Stu said, it's kind of like an extreme mindset. He probably loves drugs too, but he couldn't do it when he was so all in. You know.
I got a. I'm not gonna say it. No. I was gonna say I have a story about a friend with Dorian.
Uh
Should I say it? You guys let me know.
He's never
oh. Dorian,
gonna listen to this podcast. If it's bad, we can
Yeah.
cut it.
Nah,
but
he's my friend smoked DMT with Dorian one time,
Oh, he's very open
he-
about that.
and
yeah, that's
I was it's just like I was like very curious. I didn't even know what DMT was until my friend started talking, and I was like, "What the fuck are people doing out there?" You know?
Yeah, he's very like he went on Joe Rogan and talked about that. Like he's very open about his
I just don't ever
pleasures.
want to say something that I'm.
just in
You know.
case. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know when not just because of Dorian, but when I've heard a lot about that. I've had friends who've done it, and I kind of like their perspective and where their mind is at. They seem really at peace.
yeah.
So it's always been in the back of my head. I'm like, I think I want to do it one day, just not anytime soon, because I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
After
You know,
bodybuilding. That's what I've told myself. Like I'm not doing any psychedelics until afterwards
Yeah.
because I know
100%.
what I'm probably going to realize is like,
Yeah.
well, this is a
Exactly
bad
what you-
way to be living your life, and I don't need
100%.
that yet.
No,
That's fucking funny.
to be honest, yeah, after bodybuilding and honestly, after any like real big pursuit, because maybe after bodybuilding, you'll have like maybe this financial pursuit where you want to make a lot of money. I would wait until even after that because you might not even think about money the same after you're done. You know?
My dude, my friend
Yeah,
is so. I'm envy of this kid sometimes
yeah, yeah.
because he's
Um,
so like grounded and so like what we see, and he loves he's IFBB pro, but he's just his whole mindset's different. Like it's fucking amazing, and I'm like, man, I can't do that right now because to go to the depths of my soul right now, I
too
don't want to see
much.
what's in there, man. It's just too. Ugh.
I'm not ready to see it. I'm not
No,
ready
I
to
think we're
see
all scared of bad trips.
it. Yeah, and then I do have a slight fear that there's times that I already feel like kind of on the ledge. Like I'm barely holding on to my fucking sanity sometimes. So I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that tips over and just loses his shit altogether because I don't think you can go back. I think once you see it, I think that's it. So
yeah,
the way I compartmentalize everything is so much shit buried down that I'm way too nervous. I think most men could relate to that. We don't really. A lot of us haven't really come to terms with a lot of our emotions and shit we've been through. So sometimes taking a good look at that could be a little scary. That could be a little scary. So I gotta wait till way later to do that. I do want to do it though, because you gotta at some point, you gotta look within at some point and really figure out what the
yeah.
fuck you're doing. You know, I had a friend who was kind of like a client. I would help him out here and there, and he used to go to Gold's Venice doing the whole bodybuilding life thing. And he did it, went off grid for like months, and then came back like fully tatted up, like 50 pounds lighter. And he had like a cannabis business, and he was just like, he was that guy that he was always kind of like riled up, always like on edge, right? Kind of like aggressive, but just, and he was a complete different person, honestly, in a good way, in a good way.
Yeah.
But it made me nervous. I'm like, damn, but it's a good thing because if you think about it logically, too logically, a lot of the way we live is just doesn't really make sense. Like, we kind of just we love what we do, but it doesn't,
Well,
so
you could look at it like, I mean, from a time aspect, right? I mean, we spent all this time, and we're just talking about time, building this physique that you hope to be perfect one day, which is impossible. But what if you took all that time
yeah,
and just lived your life? I mean, we're living our lives how we want, right? It's really hard. You can
yeah,
devil
difficult.
advocate is really easy on it, but like taking all that time and just go live, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, yeah,
go
or work,
travel,
at
just
some,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. I think about little things like that. Not that I'm not doing what I want to do, but
yeah,
because at the end of the day, like Stu said, when it's all said and done, you got to lose the weight. You got to go in reverse. So all
yeah,
that
yeah,
time we took to
That's how we're gonna do it, guys. That's how we're gonna like get over the hump of like not wanting to downsize.
fucking
We're gonna smoke a bunch of
Peru,
DMT and
yeah,
just be at
yeah.
peace.
You know
Maybe
what?
maybe one of us will lose our minds, but
That might be a great idea. We all make a trip to fucking Peru
just
and
fucking
get a shaman. Yeah, get a
nah, dude, you
shaman.
can get like DMT pens. You don't need to do that shit.
DMT bands.
Seriously, it's like concentrated distillate, just like you would like you smoke with like the same kind of 510 battery that you smoke like a dab pen with. My buddies have shown it to me before. You don't need to go to do ayahuasca in the jungle. Fuck that. You
I would
do
definitely, yeah.
you do it and then you like vomit afterwards. It's like fucking disgusting.
Wait, but isn't that part of the experience? Aren't you supposed to go through that shit?
No,
Like
the
ayahuasca.
experience. No, dude, we live in America. We don't have to go to the jungle to do drugs. Like we can have drugs here now in convenient forms.
With supervision, right? Don't you need like somebody to walk you through
I
it?
wouldn't do it alone, bro. Like the
You
thing
would?
is, like, no, I wouldn't. So DMT
Oh,
itself, it feels like a long time, but like the trip lasts like 15 to 30 minutes. But it's so like from the outside, you're watching somebody trip on it. It's like it doesn't take that long, but if you're experiencing it, it feels like a very long time, I think.
that's
Um,
scary. That's kind of scary. I ain't gonna
yeah,
lie.
super scary. Have you guys ever done salvia?
No.
I
I
did
don't know
that
what it is.
once in college. All I remember about, I don't think I did very much of it, but like I felt like a million pounds. And I was just plastered to a sofa. Like I couldn't get up. And that was about it. It wasn't very pleasant. It wasn't horrible, but like, um,
Have
yeah,
y'all ever
good
had
stuff.
have y'all ever had a really bad high or trip?
Every time,
Oh yeah.
bro. Every time.
I've had like I've had like 8 out of 10 bad, and I've had like 12 out of 10 bad, where I was positive I was dead. I thought for sure I died. I
Edibles.
like yeah, I like astral projected, and I was watching myself. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm dead, bro. And then my girl at the time was trying to wake me up, and I could see her trying to wake me up. Right? Imagine you're like out, and she's nervous, trying to wake me up, and I'm not waking up. And in my head, I'm like, fuck, this is it. I'm dead, bro. And I think she panicked and like stopped, and she just like laid me to the side, and she went into the room. I don't know
And then
what
she
she
went
was
through your
thinking,
wallet.
bro. Imagine go through my phone. but but then I'm pretty sure, like all things considered, it probably was only like 5 minutes, but it felt like 5 hours, And then I first got up, eventually I got up and shit like that. But shit, I started crying afterwards, bro, because I was that positive I was dead, And it's like the sad part of them, like, damn. Everybody's gonna be like it was steroids. They're gonna be like the stupid. I knew that guy was taking so much steroids. Of course he died, and I'm like, that's
Fucking
so sad.
bro.
You know, my loved ones are gonna have to hear all the fucking steroid shit, juice head
Bro,
stuff.
no matter what happens, it's
It's gonna
always
be
probably gonna be that.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
Die in a car
always.
crash. Must
fucking
have been the game.
steroids.
There's no
Look,
way around that.
you're like, how does
Unless
this?
you die at fucking 90, 98, there's gonna be steroids. If
For sure.
God forbid you die any other age than fucking the 90s, it's the steroids, bro.
Like, anyone can have a heart attack, but because you're taking steroids, it's fucking not.
Not us. It's impossible. It's only steroid deaths.
Yeah.
Once you take a shot of steroids, it's only steroid death.
Liquid
That's
death.
the-
Oh,
All right. Let's if you had a client who only trained one time a week, what what training protocol would you do? Full body, but
I just
I don't know how effective that's going to be.
I wouldn't take them. The fuck?
Yeah, one time a week. I mean, it's better than no times a week, but I don't. There's not much you can do with that unless it's just
An
shit. Even
8-hour
general
arm
health.
workout.
oh yes.
Yeah, all you got is full body, so that's about it. I don't know if there's anything else you could do. If you had a female client, I don't think if it matters if it's a female or male. It's not much you can do with that. But do full body. 3 pillars of bodybuilding: diet, training, PEDs. Rank them in
No.
most important order.
No, that's a stupid question. They're all important. Why do you want us to rank them? Are you going to focus on one more than the other if we rank them?
Probably.
It's a stupid question. Fuck you.
Okay, I'm going first. PEDs. What?
I mean,
Damn it! Trying to make a point.
it's like what's the rank the 3 pillars of living? Breathing, drinking water. I mean, if you don't drink water, you die. If you don't breathe, you die. So it's like you can't I mean, you might die sooner from one or the other, but you still die. So
A three-legged table. It's not a table if you have 2 legs. It's
exactly.
that's nothing. Like it's like to stand up. Like
So well, PEDs would have to come last, not because they're not important, but natural body. Everybody was natural at some point, right? There's natural bodybuilding, but there's no unnatural non-bodybuilding.
why are we
You know what I
humoring
mean?
this person? It's a stupid question.
Sorry, it was my fault. I was just
Dude,
wondering.
the reason why this bothers me, right, is like I went to school for a long time, as did we all, right? One of the things we learned in school is how to ask a good question that can be answered properly. So when you ask something like thoughts on, it pisses me off because it's like it's not even a question.
It's not really.
It's
Not a
like a
question at all.
request. It's like throwing this out into the air. Like, what do you want me to say about this? Fuck you.
Well, like, and sometimes you don't have thoughts. You don't think, right? It's like thoughts
I
on
don't think about that at all, actually.
thoughts on mint. I'm like,
You
I don't
fucking
think I've.
stupid ass, not even a question, forced me to think about this topic. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I got a little heated there, but
Okay, my fault.
who
Man.
who had the better front double, Keon or Mike Summerfield?
Eon.
Uh, I mean, I have to agree, but how
For sure.
impressive is Mike Summerfield's front double? Pretty fucking impressive, I'm sure. Let me see if I can find
It's
it.
good.
But I think Keon is a different level. Let's see. I do find Mike really impressive, like super impressive. Let me just pull it up. Let's see. Well, he didn't post it here. Whoops. It's kind of similar, low key though. No. Oh well. No, I think Keon, but I mean, it's really impressive though. But I
Yeah,
don't think it's
not
I
Kevin's.
don't think it's that close. Do I even need to pull up Keon's? I think we all. Let me pull up anyways. I think we all know how Keon's look.
Need to, but like I wouldn't be mad if you did. It's just aesthetically pleasing, you know.
Yeah, it's a very good pose. Can't be too far down. I mean, even his classic version is even better than Mike, with all due respect.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Shape of the biceps, the flare of the quads, the adductors.
yeah, he really, really good physique. Um, you guys want to see him in open?
I would personally. This is me.
I would, yeah, I would love to see him open.
Well, because then
But
we all move down a spot if we ever qualify.
well, another thing is that shit, 212 beat somebody, shit, right? Because if all the 212 guys left, I mean, I think at some point, if that continues to happen, they might have to get rid of it because if all the good guys leave and there's no excitement in 212,
Well,
that
Right.
wouldn't,
there's still good guys. It's just like
of
having a
course.
superstar is important, right?
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
was second? Clarito was second, right?
yeah.
And he could be a superstar, but I hate to say this, like he's won when people have gone to different divisions, like when Derek left, and you know when Keon was like off, and then he got on, and it's like you know you can't really beat that, you know.
I think Ian said that. I'm pretty sure it was Ian, somebody on the podcast, most likely Ian. He said that they had it right with 202 because the 212 weight class, it doesn't, when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound that close to open because you're like, well, most open guys are like 240 plus, but it's close enough that a lot of these guys were sucking down the 212 are just as in, are just as good, or in Derek's case or Hadi's case, even better, even Tonio's case, even better in open than they were in 212. So then it doesn't make it, it throws it off because all the good guys are just as good in open. Whereas with 202, if it was still 202, Sean Clarita would be the undisputed champion, right? At some point, maybe Keon would get like one and then have to move up, right? Because if you're a true 202, like Sean Clarita is, he's gonna have a difficult time with the top guys in open, you know, and that makes it a better division because there is a contrast. It's not like, well, everybody, right? It makes less sense if every top guy is a top guy in open. Whereas if there's a big enough difference that legit smaller guys who just structurally can't compete with open guys have a division to compete in, right? So I think 202 probably would have been the best bet, you know. So guys like what's the other, the shorter guy, the guy from Kuwait,
Ahmad
uh,
Ashkelani.
Ashkenani, yeah. Because from what I heard, he's not that heavy. He's like 200. He's just really short, like
Really?
5'3".
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really short from, so guys like that would have a division where they could really excel at and not have to worry about guys who could win the Open Miss Olympia beating them. So just some food for thought. You guys agree with that? You think?
Yeah.
See what you're saying, but like then there's like 5'4" guys who are like pushing the cap. Like Angel.
Yeah, yeah,
Angel hasn't been that successful in open. He's like third place in
this is true.
212.
This is true.
Because I think the stature really starts to come into play when you start messing with the big boys. I hate to say it.
Yeah, yeah. You think they should leave it the same as it is?
I think you probably shouldn't mess with it because the division's on thin ice already. Think about how many competitors that would like shunt up to open. It was like, there's no way I'm making 202. Shit, okay, I'm an open guy, but I'm a tiny open guy.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
if you're 210 peeled, like, okay, now I have to put on what, 20 pounds of muscle,
yeah,
right?
yeah. With classic, I kind of agreed with the weight increase at first, and then now I'm kind of like, whoa, wait on a minute. Now I think if they upped it again, it wouldn't be a good thing. I think it's close. I think it's more than enough now. We've seen Bumstead almost won an open show with really good guys, and then Mike Summerfield looks like he would be competitive right now. You know, so I think that's already getting too close. So I think that's should stay put. You know.
Well,
Guys,
speaking of open guys and classic guys, what's Brady is doing classic in
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
yeah. He told us. He told us. Um, I mean, it makes sense. His weight has never been that heavy. You
Yeah,
know, he's never been a heavy guy.
I think he'll probably be better there because
I think so.
he had like the double quad tear, right?
Okay, yeah. So it's
It
gonna be
was
hard for
years
him.
ago, and he's recovered since then. But like, I presume that's probably affecting his leg growth and training in some way.
Yeah,
And he's really wide up top, and if you have like he doesn't have small legs, but they're not big enough for open.
yeah.
So, like if he can go into classic, he qualified his first year in classic.
That says a lot. Yeah, that says
So
a lot. Well, I do. Further, I do respect him for trying, right? Because it's like it's one of those things that you don't want to hold yourself back. So I get why he went up to open, right? Because he's a bodybuilder, he's a bodybuilder, so it's like he wants to grow, he wants to grow, but it all comes back to expectations as well, right? What do you want to do? If he comes off to me somebody who wants to be like a top guy, like like a Olympian, right? And if he competes in open right now, it's just so stacked. So
I
that's
think
gonna
he
be
like maybe I'm assuming here. I think I'm correct though. Because he did the Orlando in 23, and he got third place there.
he
Remember?
looked really fucking good though. I
But
thought he
he
looked
looked
really
really
good.
good. But that wasn't a deep show. I think there were
No,
like
no.
8 or 9 guys in that show.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Hunter and wait, no, it was Phil Kahar and
John
what's his
John DeLoso,
John John Del.
maybe.
No, maybe it was Hunter and John. I thought it was Hunter and John, and then he was third.
But
Anyways,
that
he
was
got
I think I was Tampa. Was that what show was that? Well,
it was
they
Orlando or Tampa, one or the other. I don't remember.
Tampa.
Tampa, yeah, yeah.
I think it was. Yes, it was Hunter and John. Yeah, it was Hunter and John, right?
And he got third, right? So like fuck, I'm top three in an open show. Let's go. I'm gonna be in the mix in all the shows I do. And then 24, I mean, just like it was for me, didn't go as well for him. And now he's like, okay, because like he did like more competitive shows in 24
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
than that one. So I think it's the right decision to go to that division.
Also, having perspective is a good thing, right? So to be able to make calculated decisions is smart.
And
Not just
also,
say,
like we're making assumptions about his thought process here. We could just ask the guy, like we know him,
yeah,
but
yeah, we'll have him. He mentioned it last time. He didn't go into detail though, but he was working out. He was working out on the podcast, so he was kind of busy. But yeah, well, we could have him on probably Wednesday or next week. Shout out Brady. I think it's a good choice though too. All right, and listen, hey, have you seen some of these top classic guys in person? Like they have a lot more muscle than we think they do because of the weight. Because we hear the weight and they're like, oh, how big can you be at 220? If you see Ramon and Urs in person, you'll be like, okay, it's a bit bigger than I thought they were. So all right, you do have to be big in classic. Is what I'm saying. What's something? Let's do like one more. All right.
I'm gonna run.
All right,
I
bet.
gotta do
All right,
some things, and then yeah.
all right, brother. Do your thing, man.
Appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend or a
you
great week.
dude,
My days are all fucked up.
All
Yeah. Bye.
right, bro. Okay, let's see. Did we do this question last podcast? Biggest rivalry in bodybuilding? I
yes,
think
we
we did
did.
it. Okay. All right. What's your gym pinning? Uh, huh. You want to do a bodybuilding related question?
Sure.
This is like one of your favorite questions. Thoughts on trained by JP training style? Oh man.
Try again,
Um.
man. Try again.
The truth is, he trains like everybody else, just lower reps. Really, is what I've saw. Everybody does like a couple sets to failure and couple exercises, but he just. I think his splits are strange. He does like upper lower splits and really low reps sometimes, but it's, I don't I don't know. Pretty spot on. All right, right.
I think his training style is to satisfy his desire to train. It is not conducive to bodybuilding and looking good on stage at this point. At one point, it might have been, but not anymore.
What about his training do you think is causes? Do you refer to about that?
Well, I think he just gets, and I think this probably is just personality, but like he gets hyper fixated on progressing lifts, and it's I don't. The thing is, like, I don't even know what the fuck he looks like. I don't think anybody does because he doesn't get on stage. I don't know if he posts any pictures on his forum anymore, but um, like he consistently injures himself like on a weekly basis, and it's little stuff usually, and it's sometimes it's bigger stuff, but that's not. I guess you can't tell me that's like the best way to train unless you're training for training's sake, in which case, more power to you.
Yeah.
Because I remember like years ago, I don't think he used to do like the 2-3 rep sets that he's doing on like single joint exercises sometimes. Like deadlifts, he's always kind of done those, but he's doing a lot of low rep hip hinge stuff. And like super overloading like single joint movements like a tricep extension or a leg extension and getting like 4 reps, 6 reps on it. I think I don't think the cost to benefit ratio there is good.
Well, you kind of just said the most important part, right? If we're going, this is why he's not like a textbook bodybuilder. He's not a textbook guy, but I'm just saying in general. This is why the textbook scientific training thing doesn't always work in real life, right? Because if we're going by technically what research shows, whether you're doing 5 rep sets or doing 20 rep sets, same amount of muscle growth, right? Cool. Okay. I can say I believe that. But like you said, risk to benefit is what we're talking about when we're talking about a 38-year-old man. I don't know how old he is, but I'm assuming around.
Looks like 34, 35.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, shit. Any age. Like fuck the age. risk to benefit is something you have to think about because, like you said, he doesn't consider the injuries probably a big deal, but they're all setbacks. Like almost every time he pops up on my feet, it's like recovering from this shoulder tweak or this pec tweak or this knee thing.
Pop some fibers. That's the phrase he usually uses. Pop some fibers.
So let's say
fibers aren't supposed to pop regularly. Pops are scary.
We would hope not, So let's say 4 rep sets, he's getting the exact same benefit as used to doing a 15 rep set. But to what cost? That's probably the bigger issue. And I don't actually, me personally, I'm not a fucking exercise scientist. I don't actually believe that's completely true, if I'm being completely honest. I think if you put some middle-aged moms in a fucking gym and do some research, maybe it'll show that. But I don't believe that's it. When you talk about grown men on a bunch of steroids, that's gonna actually be completely true. It may be, but
still. Yeah. So like, I just want to be clear. I'm not bashing him for his training style. Like if he likes doing it like this, which he clearly does, he's going to keep doing it. But if his goal is to get on stage, and win a pro card. Um, I
which
don't know
which
if that's I don't know
I
if
don't think
that's
it
the
is
case or not.
anymore.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But if it is, then the only thing he doesn't need to grow anything. He needs to shrink his waist. And I don't know if he can do that at this point, because the last time he was on stage, he did the pro qualifier in Alicante in Spain, and this was like 4 or 5 years ago at least. I It was a long time ago now, and tons of muscle, obviously. He's 5'6". He's competing in like the 250s plus, 250 260 range, which is crazy big. He's got pretty narrow shoulders, and I mean, his stomach lost him the show. Like I think he got third in that super heavyweight class, um, and his back poses are quite good because he's his heavy deadlifting has translated. But if he actually wanted to get a card, then that's what he would have to do. But I don't think that's what he loves doing. I think he's gone through phases of like, because he has IBS, and he's gone through phases of like, manipulating stuff. And I remember he was at one point he was like using a waist trainer and stuff, and I just don't know what his waist looks like because um, he doesn't really post pictures of himself, current ones. So yeah, I mean, is he still adding muscle onto that 5'5", 5'6" frame? And if so, to what end?
Well, I think adding muscle would make him look worse at this point.
Yeah,
Like
I
Nick
agree.
Walker. I think if Nick Walker, well, with Nick though, you can make the argument that he looked better now than he does when he was smaller. But okay, but let's say with JP, I think getting bigger, he will look worse at this point. Honestly, you know.
But I mean, if that's not his goal, then yeah, like I said, I'm by no means saying what he's doing is wrong. He can do whatever he wants.
No,
But if that's your goal, then you probably change your approach.
he's built a very successful business, and I'm pretty sure that he's very successful in life.
Mhm. Yeah, yes.
So it looks obvious to us watching him that he loves training a lot more than he loves being a pro bodybuilder. So
He's
I
more of
think
a
he's just
pro
doing
bodybuilder than a lot of people with pro cards. We'll say that
very, very true.
in like the day-to-day aspect.
And I would argue with no changes to his physique, if he peaked really close to his best, like best condition, nice and full, and he did enough shows, I think he would get his pro card. So yeah. So
I
shout
mean,
out.
shit, over in Europe, you could just buy one.
Can you?
I mean,
I know what
you
you're
know what I
saying.
mean?
Two, two, two bros. You go to one bro now. It's gonna be
Not
no
even just
bros.
them, like all over Europe, dude. Yeah, talk to David Chekowicz.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
he
okay.
told me
Yeah.
that. I've heard from other people.
I mean, I've definitely seen. I think we all know that a lot of crazy shit happens there. You know, just don't talk shit about the promoters. You might not get out the venue. But shout out JP. Yeah. So as far as rep ranges, I do believe that you don't have to follow. Everybody has a sweet spot where they feel the most, but the super low reps, I think it really. I mean, I just don't think it's necessary. If I'm being honest. But what do we know? What's your favorite middle? All right, last one. Protein powder. Do you believe there's any limit on how many protein shakes you can have in a day?
Uh,
I've, I've heard some crazy stuff. Dexter said one year he did like 4 shakes a day, and I'm pretty sure he like got like top 2009. I think he got like I don't know like third in the Olympia.
I mean, I guess if you're using it as a way to like supplement your protein intake, not in place of meals, then I guess that's fine. Because like whey isolate, right? It doesn't bother your stomach as far as digestion goes for most of us, unless you have like a lactose problem. It's like, is there a limit? I don't know, bro. Find out. Go get
Gotta
yourself a
find out.
couple like 10-pound tubs of like true nutrition, like ultra filtered whey isolate, and see what happens. You get the crappy stuff, it's gonna take you out quick though.
Have you done that at any phase? Have you done a bunch of shakes at any phase of bodybuilding?
No, I haven't actually. It's always kind of like I've always kind of thought about it. It's like, oh, what if I just did like three three shakes throughout the day, just in between meals, like 40, 50 grams of protein each. Now all of a sudden I'm going from like 350 to 500 grams of protein a day. Like that's got to help, right?
I
Um,
don't think so.
I mean, yeah, it would be a lot easier than eating all that shit too. But like that would be in addition to what I'm already eating. So
I've done up in the off season, at least I've done up to 4 shakes, and I didn't really notice a big difference as far as like not making as much progress. I think digestion wise, I think well you're not getting as much fiber as you would if you ate rice and shit, I guess. But
rice doesn't
I
have
don't
any
know.
fiber in it.
It has some. Like it depends what kind of rice you eat, I guess.
Actually, yeah, brown rice.
Yeah. But yeah, the only way to know is to try it, find out for yourself, my
You're
guy.
gonna be pissing out your ass probably, but like if you're just talking about like whey isolate shakes, not like blended up with other stuff, like not like a full meal replacement, just like whey
That
isolate.
might be it.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, take your Metamucil, bro.
Should I break up with my girl if she hates bodybuilding and constantly getting in my way?
Oh, so many questions here. How old are you? Do you know what you want in life?
Yeah, that plays the
Because like if you're 19, um then maybe it's a 19-year-old girlfriend, and like you're probably gonna have a few more before you settle down. In which
yeah.
case, big fucking deal. But also, like, if you're 19, should you be making life decisions based off of a hobby that you got into like a year or two ago? Are you
Yeah.
on steroids right now that might make making you act wild and make bad decisions and ask questions like this? These are all things that we need to know, man.
That's a good. If I would have saw this question like 8 years ago, I would have been like, you know what? Any woman that's getting in your way of your goals, you might have to make that decision. But now now we understand there's a lot of other factors like why does she hate bodybuilding? Maybe she hates how you are bodybuilding, and maybe you're kind of a dick. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a good possibility.
and like you said, age makes a difference. If he's saying girlfriend, I'm gonna assume he's young. But let's say if you were that guy who's 38 and you're chasing bodybuilding, and she's like, "Bro, I've been supporting you for 8 years, but this is getting out of hand. You got to do something with your
And
life."
you've been bodybuilding for 8 years and you still ain't winning local shows.
Then she's
Ugh.
then instead of breaking up with her, you might need to listen to her at that point. So there's a lot of factors. I don't want to click into his profile and look too deep into this because that could I don't want to do that
Just
to him.
look deep into the mirror. You'll know what to do.
Yeah, you really have to ask yourself why, or ask her, be like, hey, why are you so mad at bodybuilding?
Or better yet, is there anything that I could do to change the way that I am behaving, or the way that I go about this hobby that would make you more open to it?
Exactly. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, be constructive instead of just like hitting the delete button.
There was a time that I did feel like that. I kind of felt like, yo, anybody who's getting in my way of not just bodybuilding, but just anything I felt like doing, you're the problem. But in hindsight, I was for sure the problem. I was definitely the problem, but I couldn't see that at the time. So you got to really take a good look at yourself. I think we're good, but let me see if there's a good. Some of these questions,
That was kind of a good question, dude.
that was kind of a question. What era of bodybuilding do your favorite physiques come from? I mean, I think it's usually whenever you grow up, whenever you get into bodybuilding, tends to be where you draw the motivation from. Uh,
Yeah, kind of like early 2010s. I wasn't into bodybuilding in that time frame yet. I was still playing high school sports. I didn't know anything about the sport. But like, when I did get into it, it was like the guys who were like important and big at that time in like 2015, 2017 kind of time frame, like they had been good throughout the early 20 teens. So like they were the names that I was seeing. And now 10 years after that, it's like, I mean, it's been a complete changing of the guard, which is kind of crazy.
I don't even know who you. I don't think I would ever even ask that question to you. Like who are some of the guys you like looked up to in any way? Whether I don't care if it's
Evan Centopani. I'm a big fan of Evan because I think he carries himself with a lot of respect and decency.
a
And I
lot of
think
class, a lot of class.
yeah, he's very classy. And um, Antoine Vaillant, actually, I was always a fan of him because, like, shit, dude, who else, as like a professional bodybuilder like him, was making goofy ass YouTube videos in like 2013,
Oh,
2015?
so
Like, he's been
I didn't know
doing
you.
videos forever.
I didn't know you knew about that, but he's
Yeah,
literally the first bodybuilding influencer ever.
yeah,
Like he would even before YouTube, he was posting somewhere on like I don't know, like it was like a I forgot where he was posting, but before YouTube was even popular, he was with Juji doing those fucking flips and shit, whatever
yeah.
that was called. I thought that was cool. Yeah,
I remember watching his videos. There was one that I think they were doing either the Vancouver or the Toronto Pro, and there was like it was like a super hack job video. It was kind of funny, but like they were like in a hotel before the show, and uh, Frank McGrath was competing, and like because as a young bodybuilder who was getting into competing, like I didn't know what real stage conditioning looked like yet, right? I was like pinching my skin. I'm like, how thin is this supposed to be? It's like I need a gauge here, and like in the video, they were like pinch like his ab skin was like insanely thin, and it was like super dried out and it looked like leather. I was like, okay, it gotta look like that. And like there, he had the crazy jaw, so he was like pulling skin off of his jaw as well.
yeah. That's insane. Yeah, the Johnny Regan used to say um fuck. Johnny Regan used to say, "You want every part of your body to feel like this."
Yeah, like the back of your hand. Yeah.
And then I'm like, he's like, "Your glutes don't feel like that." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think my glutes will ever get to that point."
Sorry,
But
John.
that is a good way to. I'm pretty sure if you went like this to Derek's glutes, I think it would feel like that.
You
Honestly,
wouldn't be able to grab anything, man.
that's what it'd be like. But um, I mean that's a great way to think about it, especially as like a young early competitor who has no idea what true condition means or looks like. You see some veins and some abs, you're like, whoa, I'm shredded.
Yeah,
I think that's a good way to have. And he told me you're only as lean as your fattest body part. That's something everybody should consider.
still true. Yeah.
It still holds true. But that actually the last two questions were actually decent compared to
Who'd you look
I
up
don't.
to?
Oh shit, yeah. When I first started training, it was Ronnie. When I first started training, it was Ronnie right off the bat. But then I like Kevin, but I don't know what exactly about Kevin I liked. I just thought he was fucking cool, bro.
He
I
is
thought
cool.
everything about
Like
him
he is
was cool.
objectively super fucking cool.
Yeah, and he was so different. He did everything his way, in like this unique way. I thought that was cool. As I got older, I like Kai because he was getting to such a high level, and he lived like in my area, so I thought that was super cool. And then I actually got to know him a bit, which I thought was cool. Um, I always respected Phil. Same thing with Dexter. I got to know Dexter a bit, and I thought that was pretty cool.
But
But
Victor, he lived in New York, right?
Victor was the first pro bodybuilder I've ever seen in person, and but I was like 17, 18, so Back then, you didn't come up. You know how people nowadays come up to pro bodybuilders like, "Yo, what are you taking, bro?" Like they don't give a fuck nowadays. Back then, you didn't talk to these guys. Like not that he wouldn't be open to talk to me, but I just didn't feel like I could talk to him. So I would just look at him, and I'm like, "Yo, if that's what it looks like to be a top pro, I don't think I could ever look like that." You know, and I was right because I don't look like Victor at his prime. You know, it was so
Either.
insane. It was so insane. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He had like a T-shirt on, and you could see every fiber. And I was like, I'm like on the internet. They say he doesn't get in shape. I mean, he looks shredded even in the T-shirt. Like, but you don't realize there's levels to this shit. I thought he was so fucking impressive, bro. It was. It didn't look human to me. So that just completely
What
changed the
kind of
way I thought
time
about
frame
it.
was that? Like
I want to say I was
2010?
like, if I was like 18, yeah, I would be like 20. Yeah, like 2010, maybe. I want to
Uh,
say if that's. I
so
think I
you're
graduated at
4 or
2010.
5 years older than me, and I graduated in 15. So
Yeah, so let's say 2010. Around that time, because the year he should have beat Jay was what 2009, 2009.
2007.
Oh shit! So that wasn't even like that was still prime, but that wasn't because he already probably started having some injuries and issues by a couple years after that, right?
Jail. Yeah.
So that wasn't even his best version, and I thought that was the most insane shit ever. So shit, shout out. I mean, he still looks crazy now,
Does,
really.
yeah.
So well, shout out Victor. Yeah, those would be some of the people I look up to. Looked up to Phil. I thought Phil is just
I think
Phil.
Victor's so cool too because he's like, when they asked him if he was going to do the Masters Olympia, he was like, "Fuck no! Like, what would I do that for? Like, pay
Why?
me! Like, where's
Yeah,
the money?"
I
There's
like Victor.
Speaking of which, there's so many guys who are not doing the Masters O because it's in Japan and they're not helping at all with any expenses,
It's
right?
crazy.
So like that's going to be like a $5,000 to $7,000 excursion to go and do a bodybuilding show in your 50s. I mean,
What's the payouts for the winner?
well, we know who the winner's going to be. Brandon Curry's doing it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying because in my head I'm like it would only make sense for Brandon because he knows that he's gonna win. He's
Yeah,
gonna win for a fact, right? So that's the only way I could see it being beneficial. If you know, no matter what happens, even if I get sick, I'm gonna win the fucking show. That's the only way it really makes sense, right? So
yeah. I don't really see the point. I think a lot of I've spoken to some Masters guys, and they don't see the point either.
I
Like
don't know.
Klahar's not doing it. Klahar was thinking about doing it, and he's not.
But in general, outside the Olympia, do you think Masters divisions are a good thing?
Um, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with anybody after like a certain age, like doing what we do. So
Granted,
yeah,
without the Masters division, you could still compete, but I think it's going to encourage more older guys to compete because of the division. If you had to do open, I think you would think harder about it. You'd be like, I'm not going to be competitive here. If you're not, then it would make you say maybe I shouldn't do it. But if you feel like they're the Masters, they're the division where I can be competitive at, that's going to draw more older guys to continue to push their body harder than they should. You know.
yeah. Overall, I'm not hot on the idea. I think it's good that they have a place to compete, but ultimately, it's up to them what they want to do with their body and how hard they want to push themselves to get in shape, right? Because like if you want to compete in a Masters bodybuilding show and like bro, if you're 48, like you're not going to look like a 28-year-old. And okay, so maybe you take like a third of the drugs that you used to, right? And you get on stage, you're shredded, you enjoy the process, your family comes and watches you. You don't get any fucking prize money anyways because it's like it doesn't even matter. And like you just do something like that, kind of for the hell of it. Then that's one thing. But like, and the fact that there's not really any prestige or money at stake as far as like prize money and stuff, hopefully would, make people say, okay, I'm not getting out anything out of this really besides the experience, so I'm gonna take it easier. But
Yeah.
then again, like if you're bodybuilding at 50, do you know an off switch?
It's tough. Like you probably feel similar. It's like the only reason I guess unless the only caveat is if you start really late though. If you legit started I like to bring up Andrew. If you started at like 35, that's a whole different thing. That's not even the same conversation.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you could have the best generation in the world. If you start at 35, you're probably still going to realize your potential. Right? It's for everybody else. Like I feel like there's no why would one want to continue to compete if you started at a relatively younger age? Why would you want to continue to compete into that age? That I don't think that's a good thing to even have that desire to push your body like that past your 40s.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, if you like you go about it in a healthier way,
Yeah,
as in like just taking less drugs, then
yeah,
that maybe that's you can get away with that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I know a couple of masters competitors that definitely don't do that, and they've had near
Yeah.
death experiences, and they continue to do it. And they're like, from the outside looking in, it looks like they are actively trying to kill themselves.
It's crazy.
And these are the guys that don't know how to stop.
Yeah.
So don't let that be you. It's just I'm not even 30. I'm giving advice to like 50 year olds. But
Which is my entire point. I still remember thinking to my head, like, right, yeah, I'm like, the younger you are, the less perspective you have. But shit, I think that's a good thing in some because I remember saying, I really hope that I'm not competing past 35. That's me at like 20 years old thinking that. Right, I'm not thinking, well, it would be so cool if I was competing at 50. Like that's not what was I was. I'm like, I would hope that I would be in a position where I didn't want to and I didn't need to, and I just didn't compete at that age. Right? It just that's the way I look at it. It was never like, oh, I hope I'm fucking like that. I don't think that's a good thing, unless if you're Brandon and you're still making all this money and you're like, huh, this is the job. I'm going to continue doing this until and leave gracefully. But
yeah, Brand's
if
different. Like it's totally different.
or Dexter, obviously, it makes sense. But just for the fuck of it, I just it didn't make sense. I don't know. So,
Go
but
play
everybody's different.
golf.
Yeah, go do things and be happy. And I know you can say, well, I'm happy competing at 50, but it's like, okay, okay, maybe you are, but I don't think you have. I don't think you have good perspective if that's how you feel at 50. With all due respect. So,
And on that note, call it a
all
day.
right, yeah, all right,
All
man.
right.
Appreciate you for coming on, brother. I'll
You
see you
too,
next
man.
week. Yes,
See
sir.
ya.